It's later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And I have worked in this business for the better part of 32, 33 years, some form of entertainment, news and entertainment, combination thereof. And I don't remember a day like today when it relates to news, weather, news, or possible disasters. Thinking about what has been going on in Florida, not just today with Hurricane Milton, but 2 weeks ago with Hurricane Helene. I don't remember a time like this ever. And what I mean by that is you have two, I'll say, storms of the century or of the past 100 years within 2 weeks of each other. To think that, let's say if you lived in the region and you were evacuated 2 weeks ago, and if you were fortunate enough to come back to your home and it was still there, to literally turn around 2 weeks later and leave again with even more uncertainty. But then there's this. You have Hurricane Milton, which has vacillated between a 5 while at sea, and now it has hit land. It is between a Category 2 and a Category 3. They've had the gas shortages throughout the state, meaning that even if you are well-intentioned trying to evacuate and following evacuation orders, you had a hard time just filling up your car. And then there was this. Tornadoes all across the state. Life-threatening flash floods, warnings in place as of right now. And there are several reports of tornadoes in the region. Tornadoes by themselves, deadly, dangerous. Hurricanes by themselves, deadly and dangerous. But now you put them together the same day in the same location, same place, and you want to be able to make sure that you're safe, your family's safe, your friends are safe. You don't know when you leave whether you'll see your house again. But at least you know if you left early enough that you can ensure your own safety. I don't know about you, but I spent much of the day just staying in contact with various friends and family all around that Gulf Coast region. And I admit it, I wasn't great with geography. If you say, Tampa or versus Miami or Orlando, I may get them mixed up as far as what city is where within the state. I'm sorry, it's not where I live. So I was calling relatives and they say, no, Mo, it's fine. That's on the other side of the state. Well, I don't know. All I know is it's covering a lot of area, and you should be thankful that I'm concerned about you. Some laughed me off and some were very appreciative. But I was spending a lot of time just trying to stay in contact with other people. And if there's anything which is beautiful about technology today, with text messages, with social media, I had friends and family. Obviously, they didn't have time to contact everyone, but they did just put a note up on social media. Hey, we've been evacuated. We're fine. You don't need to worry about us. Or we are at so-and-so's place, or we're going to ride this out. It's not near us. It's only going to be, a swell of maybe 2 to 4 feet. Because of technology, the way it is today, it is easier in many respects to at least find out about your loved ones. And I was telling you about how I did the Blue Door Bash as an MC last weekend, and how the auctioneer his house was flooded out, and he barely made the event. And now he has to go through this again and not sure whether his house and livestock will be able to survive a second time. And I'm not saying this to be funny. I'm saying that we, living in California, have it so very good, we often lose sight of, or we often forget of, about what other people have to go through on an annual basis. And regardless of this hurricane, which will last maybe another 2 days or so, there will be other hurricanes which come, because this is hurricane season. And there will be other hurricane seasons each and every year. It's something that we don't have to deal with here. And sometimes I think we do take it for granted. So let me just say this, obviously thoughts and prayers are not enough, but I am pulling for everyone in the Southeast and that Gulf Coast region as Hurricane Milton makes landfall. Of course, If you're not sure what is going on, KFI and our newsroom will continue to update you throughout the night as we get more information, the latest information, and also we want to verify and double check all our information. We don't want to give you anything which is incomplete or inaccurate, but you can keep it right here the rest of the night, and you will find out the absolute latest on Hurricane Milton, its strength, and what is happening in that region of the United States. Later here on the show, we're going to be talking about a variety of things. Remember how last night we were talking about how pajamas are the thing now at high school, going around running errands. People are wearing pajamas everywhere. There is now a holiday pajama weekend at the LA Zoo. Just announced, as if they were listening to the show last night. Perfect timing. We'll tell you about that. We'll tell you about all the Halloween events coming up here in Southern California, and also remind you about the Later with Mo Kelly pre-Halloween soiree. We just had our first celebrity confirmation. No, I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm just letting you know that the party is getting bigger and better by the day. And when I say confirmations, these are people who are going to be in the house. They're not calling in. No. They're showing up. And this party is just for the listeners of Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And last night we talked about this culture of wearing pajamas everywhere, wearing it to school, wearing pajamas to the grocery store, wearing pajamas to work. And it's to the point where you see them everywhere on people all ages. We just talked about that last night. What we didn't know was that the LA Zoo was going to lean into this pajama phenomenon. They have this celebration, which is LA Zoo Lights Animals Aglow, and it's at the LA Zoo and Botanical Gardens. That's going to run November 15th through January 5th of 2025. And they're building it up. It has special offerings, including sensory-inclusive evenings, Pride Night, a New Year's Eve celebration, and more. The zoo and botanical gardens, I get it. They need to branch out. They need to have more special events because let's think about it. Other than a field trip, other than part of a vacation, who's going to be going to the LA Zoo and botanical gardens? And if so, how frequently? You got to give people a reason to go. Got to have special events. So I don't begrudge them for that. What I do have an issue with is they're including as part of this LA Zoo Lights Animals Aglow celebration, the first ever holiday pajama weekend. And that's going to be December 6th, 7th, and 8th, where people will be coming to the zoo and botanical gardens in their pajamas, maybe new pajamas, maybe old pajamas, maybe pajamas with their holes in them. I don't know. Maybe it'll be lingerie. I have no idea. All I know is that the zoo has now embraced this phenomenon of wearing pajamas because they are specifically trying to court the older crowd. When I say older, the adults in the 30s and 40s, where they're making it cool to go to the zoo. Honestly, I have not been to the LA Zoo in, 45, almost 50 years. Not since I was in grade school. And I don't see any reason for me to go in the future. I get why they're trying to do it. I just don't like the whole idea of pajamas. They're making it where it's like it could be a holiday tradition. They're trying to build their base. You'll come out with your kids. You're all wearing your pajamas and maybe your holiday hat, and you walk around and look at the various exhibits in the zoo. But pajamas?
Yes, Mo, pajamas. I'm telling you, this is something that when my kids were little, me and their mother, we would have taken them to go see this. We went on a pajama outing to go, and this was to go and watch the Robert Zemeckis Tom Hanks.
Forrest Gump?
No. The train movie. Lord have mercy.
Thomas the Train?
No. Look, well, I'll remember the train movie. It's one of the most famous train movies ever made. The Holiday Express.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Polar Express.
Polar Express, yeah. The Polar Express. We did that when they were little children. We all went to it was like a night out. You wore your pajamas. There was cocoa and popcorn and treats, and we watched the movie and all sat around on blankets watching the movie, and it was a cool event.
Couldn't you really wear some regular clothes?
No, it was pajamas. All the family showed up in pajamas. This is something that's actually really cool. I can see this as this is a really cool outing for you and your little children.
Okay. All right. I remember when I was in high school in band, we had a pajama breakfast. It was during band camp. One time at band camp.
Okay.
At band camp. And then I'll say the upperclassmen would come to our houses, wake us up, and we didn't know it was well, we knew because it was tradition, but we didn't know which night. And they would wake us up and we'd have to go out to breakfast with them. They're in regular clothes. We're in pajamas. It's kind of a hazing ritual. And it was, it was fun. But it wasn't something that we would do all the damn time, everywhere.
This is not a hazing event. You're associating pajamas with the torture of being woken up by people who were making fun of you because they weren't in pajamas. So it wasn't a pajama event. I see the scars that you're revealing now. I thank you for being bold enough to share that pain and trauma. But what I'm saying is, as someone who would have taken his little children. Now, my kids now, they would look at me like I'm crazy. They don't even like getting in the car and going on our Christmas light getaway where we get some cocoa. We try to go ice skating, look at lights. They're on their phone the whole time.
Let me just ask this.
Yes.
Stefan, if you had a significant other and she suggested, hey, why don't we go to the LA Zoo for a date and we can wear our pajamas, would that interest you?
I don't think the zoo.
Yeah.
That's a little bit too much.
But this is specifically for our age demographic, 30 and up.
I did something similar to what Tawala did with his family. That would be cool because either you do a drive-in or you're just on a blanket. That's cool. And that's, hanging out. But yeah, the zoo, I don't know.
Okay, Mark Ronner, you and the long-suffering one. If she said, hey, why don't we go to the zoo in our flannel 90s?
I would say, why is that fun?
It isn't for me, but you would directly ask her.
I would need it explained to me like I'm a Vulcan and she's Dr. McCoy. Why is that fun? It does not seem logical to do such a thing.
It doesn't seem logical. It doesn't seem rational. It doesn't seem like fun at all. For me, I would feel uncomfortable. But I feel appropriately dressed.
But would you feel comfortable being asked to go to the zoo, period? Me personally, right now, just me, my kids are grown. They're not trying to go to the zoo. And they know how I feel about the zoo. I despise everything about the zoo. I really, really do. I'm not a fan of the zoo, period.
Oh, okay? So you have some issues with the zoo.
No. It just last time I went and I saw, just for me, I did not like seeing the animals in that way. I don't like seeing animals in that way. So I don't like zoos, period. I'm not a fan of that.
Seconded. Completely seconded.
I just don't. To me, it's abhorrent. Just zoos, period. I don't care where. LA Zoo, Orange County Zoo, Canadian Zoo. I don't care. Zoo, period, is a problem for me. Period. But I can see why the zoo would do this. One, you got to drive with traffic. And I can see that this is another way to tap into families to make it, like you said, a tradition. This is a home run for tradition's sake. Maybe not for a date night. No.
I'm of two minds. I get why the zoo would want to do it. You're creating a tradition, and best case scenario, families would want to do it every single year. You have a built-in New Year's Eve event, if you like. And yeah, it makes complete sense. It's just not for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yes. It's just not for me. And it's not for Mark. And for some reason, we're agreeing more than usual. And
that's going to change. Don't worry.
Okay.
It won't take long.
You sure?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. When we come back, we're going to tell you about some other events going on in Southern California, but specifically tied to Halloween, and also give you an update on the Later with Mo Kelly pre-Halloween soiree coming up on October 30th here at the Honda Studios at iHeartMedia.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Lady with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Let's talk about some of the events which are coming up or already underway this Halloween season in Southern California. You probably know about Halloween Horror Nights, which is at Universal Studios, and the amusement park guarantees a living, breathing, three-dimensional world of horror with terrifying experiences from TV and movies. That's something I will never go to. Never, ever, ever. Because the first person who reaches out from a bush and grabs me, I'm kicking them in their throat. I'm not good with that. I don't like people reaching out and grabbing me. I don't have a switch in my head which I can switch on and off and saying, this is not real. This is make-believe. I don't like to be touched. I'm being serious. There's some people want to come up and pat you on the back. Don't do that with me. Don't do that. Don't do that. And if you reach out of a bush and try to grab my leg or something, I assume I'm in a fight. That's just how I react. I don't do well with that. But it might be great for you, Mark. You may enjoy it, or you, Tuwala.
Well, I don't want strangers grabbing onto me either, but I don't think I have the same trouble with maintaining aesthetic distance to entertainment that you do.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a thing with me, and intellectually I know it's Halloween Horror Nights. People jump out and everything. And I don't know if they're allowed to grab you anymore, but once upon a time, yes, they were absolutely allowed to grab you.
That's when I got kicked out.
Okay.
Because that's when my first time going to Knott's Scary Farm.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just haunted houses. And people walk around going, boo, but a cat, kind of got all up in my face with it and jumped out of nowhere. And I was already like, someone ran by and did one of those slide on the knees, get sparks and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that was crazy. And I turned around and someone jumped on my face, and I hit him. And
what do you mean you hit him? What kind of hit are we talking about here?
Punched him.
It was automatic, just knee-jerk reaction.
And that's what
slugged him.
And I feel the same way, like kind of like Mo. I mean, I'm not trained like he is, but my first reaction would be like, defense. And according to Tiffany Hobbs, you still do get grabbed. I forgot which one she was talking.
Okay, that's a no for me, dog.
So yeah, no way.
That's a no for me, because I don't need to get sued. I don't want anyone to get hurt. I don't want there to be a physical misunderstanding. And I have to assume, look, I don't know who I may be hitting. Okay, it could be a woman. I don't want that to happen. It could be a man. And then it might turn into an actual fight after that, because I'm not expecting someone to just take a right cross from me.
No, they will take the hit and they will go and get security and they will come and find you and you will be escorted out the park as I was.
Okay, so you've been kicked out of Knott's Berry Farm.
Yes.
I've been kicked out of Disneyland. Mark, have you been kicked out of any place?
Well, no, now I feel like I need
park.
to. But, I mean, you're trying to tell me that you go to a place that you know is going to have some nonsense going on, and you still hit the guy.
I'm sorry, Mark. It's like, geez, Mark, I said I was scared and startled beyond reasonable expectation. I did not expect someone to jump on me and be like, and try to put their hands near me. Look, I thought people just, from a distance, scare you. And this wasn't in a haunted house. Like, it wasn't in the mazes. I had come out of the maze. That's what I'm saying. I was already scared by the maze. Someone ran by, saw sparks, and then someone came and and it wasn't even like they gave like a monster thing. It was just came right running up on me.
Do you get violent with carnival workers too? These poor guys. What if they're also metro drivers on the side, for God's sake?
Hold on.
All right.
So if someone came up on you and snuck up on you out of nowhere, you wouldn't react in any way.
Well, if I were in a situation where I knew I had actually paid money to be frightened, no, I probably wouldn't. I can't use the word I was going to.
Okay. Well, paid money to be frightened is one thing, and what your expectation is connected to that may be another thing. Me, like Tuwala, if I'm expecting someone to jump out of the bushes, that's my realm of expectation. But when you put your hands on me, that's different. And I may be expecting someone to startle me, but I'm not expecting someone to touch me. That's just my line.
They got to have some sort of innovative, high tech thing like give you a glow in the dark sticker if you don't want to be touched, something like that.
Let me put this, and this is a bad analogy, I admit it, but this is the only thing I can think of in a moment. Let's say you're going to a movie, even a 4D movie. You're going with the anticipation of being frightened, startled, jumps and bumps. If the movie theater took it one step further and had people running up and down the aisles and grabbing you at certain points of the movie, okay, there's going to be a misunderstanding.
Yeah, I don't want to be assaulted in a movie theater. This is before all of our times here, but there was an old horror movie producer named William Castle. He had some seats electrified in some theaters for a movie called The Tingler. And so during a shocking part of the movie, you would literally get a jolt in the caboose. And I would love to see you in those circumstances.
That doesn't seem like fun.
No, I would enjoy watching you, though.
Then I'd have to get up, walk out, and then go to the manager.
Look for someone to hit, right?
Correct.
It's always violence with Mr. Mo Kelly.
Look, from the Double Bird, man?
What? I'm completely nonviolent. I'm like Kwai Chang Caine. I'm never violent until pushed to the absolute limit. Backed into a corner.
I'm kind of calling BS on that, but okay.
Low-key, I'm kind of calling BS on that.
Gets mad in traffic, but he's okay with someone just coming out of nowhere where you don't expect them. Not like
Well, no, I mean in real life, if I'm just walking down the street and somebody grabs me, then of course that person's probably going to die. But in a haunted house,
no,
come on.
That's Tuala's point. That's what made it worse for me when I knew that it's not just the houses; they're everywhere, so they can come out of any corner of the park.
Bushes, anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
So not bushes, please, not bushes. In a haunted house.
They didn't say haunted
that's
bush.
What we're saying.
Haunted house. House.
I find a haunted bush terrifying.
Okay, Mark.
Okay.
There's also Fright Fest at Six Flags Magic Mountain. You can expect haunted mazes. That's more akin to what we were experiencing, a haunted maze.
Haunted shrubberies,
scare zones, and scream-worthy rides. Six Flags Magic Mountain. There's the LA Haunted Hayride, which will go until November 2nd. And it's a nighttime tractor ride where you see tons of scary creatures and characters along the way. A haunted village, scary trick-or-treating, and a spooky corn maze.
I heard that's hands down the scariest thing to do in Southern California.
That's what I heard. I've never tried it. It's at Griffith Park, Old Zoo. There's Knights of the Jack, and you can enjoy the enchanting King Gillette Ranch grounds. 2/3 of a mile walking trail. The Halloween Wonderland features a live pumpkin carver, gift shop, top LA food trucks, and tons of other Instagrammable moments. And you can get tickets for that at knightsofthejack.com. There's the Mr. Jack-o'-lanterns pumpkin patch. Enjoy games, activities, bounce houses, pumpkin carving. Good for kids. They got mazes and more. That's in West LA, Torrance, and Hollywood. You can go to MrJack-O-lanternspumpkins.com. There's Boney Island. That's inappropriate. Explore ghoulishly glowing exhibits, fascinating creatures of the night and our prehistoric past, along with thrilling surprises at every turn at the Natural History Museums of LA, down by USC. Boney Island Natural History Museum.com. There's the Screamtacular season that goes on through Halloween, and you can celebrate the spooky season by watching your favorite Halloween movie with props. The El Capitan Theater on Highland in Hollywood. There's Boo at the Los Angeles Zoo. We were just talking about some of this, and that goes on October 19th, 20th, 26th, or 27th. The annual Spook Spectacular allows ghouls and goblins of all ages to get up close to all sorts of creepy critters, so close you can touch them. That's a no, dog. Mm-hmm. There's Haunted Little Tokyo. There's a night of DJs, drinks, food, a costume contest, ghost tours, and a spooky scavenger hunt. That's down in Little Tokyo. You can go to Little TOKYOLA, littletokyola.org. In Orange County, they have Halloween time at the Disneyland Resort. We've talked about that. You can catch spooktacular thrills at the Haunted Mansion Holiday, Luigi's Honkin' Halloween, Mater's Grave Jamboree, and Guardians of the Galaxy Monsters After Dark. Of course, that's at Disneyland. There's Knott's Spooky Farm and Knott's Scary Farm, where Tuala is banned. that goes until November 2nd. Halloween has taken over Knott's Berry Farm. You can catch Knott's Spooky Farm, a family-friendly Halloween celebration for kids aged 3 to 11, and that's only on weekends and October 30th. Knott's Scary Farm is not for the kids. It's for the adults, and it's not for Tuala Sharp. Well, I mean, it's true. I mean, they can't.
Look, it's not for me. That is true.
And the 17th Door Haunt Experience. 17th Door converts a Fullerton strip mall into a prison from hell. That doesn't sound like fun. You'll get a spook out of this extreme haunted house. The attraction is not suitable for children or me. That's the West Fullerton Shopping Center, which is the 17th Door, the number 17thdoor.com. And there are plenty of things to do if you're really into the Halloween scene, like Nick Paleokini is, which is also his birthday. Me, not so much. And that goes back to what I was telling you, Mark, about I'm not the huge horror film enthusiast. I like the horror movies or the slasher movies, the spooky movies of the 1980s and some of the 1990s, but the stuff out now is not my cup of tea.
There's a whole range of stuff. And to me, it's like food. You can have your comfort food. You can have your spicy food. I probably like a little spicy food more often than other people. That's all.
Like in theory, I would like a movie, The Substance, but from what I'm hearing, it's really, really unsettling and gory, and that's just not my thing.
There's so much out now and so much good stuff. A lot of trash. I mean, I just watched some trash last night, and I want my 2 hours back. But there's a lot of decent stuff, especially on Shudder, which is a streaming service.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It costs
Isn't that free or?
No, it costs like $6 a month, and I'm happy to support it. They do good stuff.
Okay. And also, there is the pre-Halloween soiree for Later with Mo Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up on October 30th here at the Honda Studios. It's not in our regular studio, but in the Honda Studios, because we'll have a live in-studio audience of anywhere from 100 to 150 people. It's going to be you, me, KFI personalities. We just had a celebrity confirmation today. Not going to tell you about it now. I'll tell you about it as we get closer to the event. So we're trying to book some people to come through in person, not call in, but come through. And it's just for our listeners. It's not for the general public. We're not putting it up on the KFI AM640.com website, at least not for now. We want to make sure that all of our people get in. It's going to be a real special event with food and drink. There'll probably be a drunk Stefan at some point. I don't know.
We can hope.
We can only hope.
Yeah, and you can come up and try to scare Mark and grab him because he's okay with that.
Right.
Don't try to instigate any stochastic terrorism.
No. You will be ready for it. We're letting you know in advance. So there's no reason for you to freak out because you won't be surprised.
I feel like you're lining me up to be assaulted, and I don't think I appreciate it.
No, we're lining up for you to get sued.
By being hit by somebody?
No, after you hit them in response.
Whatever you're doing now, I find it unsavory and unprofessional.
Are you going to give me the double bird?
I'm going to remind you of the time. Look at the clock.
KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And when we come back, we got to tell you about another 7-Eleven which just got robbed. This one in Hollywood.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Last night, I was speaking with Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer about smash and grabs, these 7-Eleven robberies, and how they've spilled over into Orange County. The most recent one at that point was at an Anaheim 7-Eleven. 2 hours later, there was another robbery, a group robbery, but this one was back in Los Angeles County when some 12 to 15 teenagers raided a Hollywood Walk of Fame 7-Eleven at about 11 p.m. last night. It was at Hollywood Boulevard and Wilcox Avenue. Again, there were about 12 to 15 teenagers, both male and female, who participated in this. No arrests were made, at least at that point. But one person was transported to a hospital. It's not clear whether it was a convenience store employee or someone who happened to be in the near vicinity. But if you heard my conversation with DA Spitzer, and I recommend that you go back and listen to it. It was very thoughtful and gave us a lot of information about how there may be coordinating forces outside of these individuals who are instigating them, planning with them. And I was talking about how that this is just happening at 7-Eleven in a different rant that I had, and how it might be connected to lottery tickets. In this instance, at this Hollywood 7-Eleven, it says that cash was taken, but doesn't indicate any lottery tickets. But it does make me wonder whether this is connected to the other robberies, or, as social media has been known to do, encouraging similar behavior from other teens. This is not as large as the other robberies. There weren't as many people involved. It didn't seem that it was as effective as far as the amount of merchandise which was taken. It didn't seem as if, from published reports, that it was as sophisticated as the other robberies. So we may have a situation where you just have other groups or other teens who are also participating, also mimicking what they're seeing in the news. And sometimes we can be our own worst enemies because it happens. We talk about it. We rant about it. We have conversations about it, and it becomes bigger and bigger in a news sense. And of course, it makes it much more appealing for someone to also do that, because they know that we'll talk about it and we'll discuss it, and also it will get in the news and get type of coverage, because we can tell that this is something which is going to be covered each and every time that it happens. I know the next time, and there will be a next time, that a 7-Eleven is robbed, I'm going to talk about it. It'll probably be covered by all the local news. And you know that anyone who's participated in this, in part, I believe, wants the gratification of being acknowledged on TV. Remember, I was talking about how the video of the Anaheim robbery was on loop all day long. That has to be part of the calculation. It's like, if we rob this 7-Eleven, we'll get to see it on the news, or we'll get to see it on social media, because every time they've done it, they've uploaded various videos where? To social media. So that's probably why some of these are happening, because they want the notoriety. They want to see themselves doing it. As strange as that might sound, they want to see themselves doing it. But clearly, this is not slowing down. Clearly, this is going to be something which is going to continue to happen until we get to the bottom of who's coordinating it, why they're doing it, and hopefully putting a stop to it. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We are live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Phone, car radio, smart toaster. We don't care how you listen, just that you do.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio.